We begin today by acknowledging that the land on which we gather is the traditional territory of the Willistock Wing. These territories are covered by treaties of peace and friendship of the Willistock Wing people, first signed with the British Crown in 1725. I now call our meeting to order. Has attendance been taken? Thank you. Approval of the agenda.
I move to approve the agenda.
Say your
Second it,
name, please.
Kevin Eklund.
second it, Bob Powell or Amato.
Any discussion? Ready for the question?
Question.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Are there any conflict of interest for disclosure this evening? Nope. And I'd just like to extend a warm welcome to Director Clinton Sharp from the mayor from Acadia, and he's replacing Director Derek Kleba. Welcome.
Thank you.
And I already gave him a rundown on what's accepted around the table, so he knows. Yes, okay. So consent agenda. A, approval of the minutes, April the 1st, 2025. B, Public Safety Committee report. C, Community Development Committee report. D, Economic Expansion Committee report. E, Regional Infrastructure Committee report. F, Oversight Committee report.
Move to receive the items identified in the consent agenda.
I'll second it. I'll second.
Name?
Glenn Faulkner.
Thank you. Any discussion? Ready for the question? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Move on now to presentations, and the first one is Ignite Regional Strategy. And from Unite, we have Andrew Lockhart, Yoshine Ali, and we have Paula Lair. And it's my understanding that the three of you are going to take part in doing the presentation. And just so you know, you have specific amount of time. And about 5 to 7, I'll say, you know, you have 5 minutes for questions, and we'll have to cut you off at that time because we've got a busy schedule tonight. So welcome.
That's not tourism presentation.
We can try.
I can't try. My apologies, Madam Chair.
That's okay.
No, just for, yeah, in there. Just not tourism, go to that one. The name. Yeah. Yeah. There you go. Those large, everywhere. Yeah.
Would it be in the best interest to start pursue going through the presentation and then ideally it will show up?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you, Andrew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want the visuals in front of you? Just, okay.
Good evening, everyone. CEO Sarah Corey Hollahan sends her regrets. She's currently attending the Agritech Adventure Forum in Toronto, supporting one of our priority sectors, actually, that have been identified in Vision 2030, but more on that later. Tonight, we're pleased to present our annual update, highlighting the impact Ignite has made across the capital region. This year's theme, Economic Development in Action, captures the pace, momentum, and real results we've achieved through intentional strategy and collaborative execution. Most of you in the room this evening will have already heard or seen this presentation through committee or at our annual AGM that was just held last week. Over the next few minutes, we're going to walk you through the impact, strategy alignment, and the path forward ahead for us. Ignite is proud to lead integrated economic development that supports communities' success and business growth throughout the capital region. In 2024, we made significant strides in entrepreneurship, workforce attraction, and digital engagement. Some key highlights from 2024, as you can see here, includes number 1, celebrating 10 years of Planet Hatch and the launch of Hatch Connect to re-energize our entrepreneurial community. The Merge program kicked off. That's a program that offers startups an innovative way to validate solutions through real-world municipal partnerships. We expanded our digital storytelling and social outreach, strengthening our role as this region's voice of economic growth. A great example of this would be our success videos and success stories that we shared with everybody at the AGM. I do encourage you to visit our website, our homepage, myignite.ca, or our YouTube channel to see them for yourself in person. They're really fantastic. We hosted our second annual Workforce and Newcomer Summit and Diversity Gala in 2024, advancing our leadership in inclusion and workforce integration. We also added new tech training, partnerships, and expert-led career webinars responding to the growing demand for digital skills across the region. We also helped over 50 new startups launch through tailored programming, showing our breadth of entrepreneurship expertise in the region as well. And now I'd like to hand things over to Andrew and Nosheen for a deeper dive into our KPIs and how they resulted in impact.
So I don't have the table, which I'm going to refer to. So we'll make sure you receive this later. This is a table on our quarterly reports or our annual report as well that shows our progress through the 4 quarters of the last year. And this defines all our KPIs that we set ourselves in the business plan for 2024. And you would be able to see the high-level objectives that are fed through the various activities that we do, the programs that we deliver, the events we put up, and we track our results quarterly to present to our board, but we actually track them very closely on a month-to-month basis. And we also have the capacity to pivot if things do not go as planned. I would first like to talk about the KPIs on the next page, right here. I know it's very small, please bear with us. I'll read all the numbers for you. So this table here, yes. These KPIs would be best explained if I talk about a client's journey with us and how they start. So when a client comes in, we usually have one-on-one coaching sessions with them where we find out what their need is and how best to approach their problems or whatever they need from us. And through there, that's where the coaching hours come in. So we have spent across our team about 3,896 coaching hours throughout the year. From there, we triage the clients into programs or services, whatever their need is. Whether it's a workforce development program, like, if they need to go to job fairs or they need to become a connectee, or they need to become a part of our workforce programs, we send them into those programs. Or if it's a business client looking for support in terms of business, we send them normally to our business growth programs, like, programs like Business Basics or Marketing Basics or Grow with Your Business or Expand and multiple other programs like that. So you can see the extent of programming that we do across our teams, and that translates into over 8,000 programming hours across the year. We also put together 38 events of different shapes and sizes throughout the year, which attracted over 2,000 unique participants from across the region. And we also participated in 15 attraction-focused events where we pitched the capital region to over 23,000 individuals worldwide. Our attraction efforts resulted in considerable population growth. You'll see the numbers in the next page. And as a result of our engagement with the business community, 50 new startups emerged, as Paula mentioned. Multiple impact loans and seed grants were approved, and 542 new jobs were created in the region. And Andrew would expand on the jobs. Yeah.
I'll just grab that sheet,
Yeah, of
get the
course.
visuals, thank you.
Yeah.
Just like economic development, every day is full of improvisation. Okay. And some important points here, because that last comment Nosheen mentioned was the 542 jobs, and how do you get to that? She mentioned some numbers. I want to put some little added value on those numbers. You see here. One of those components is reactive, one of them is proactive, as you can imagine, in every other week in our business support ecosystems. things are changing, and so our support for our businesses can often be reactive. Fortunately, we have an amazing business development team, our business development officers, incredibly qualified, are ready to help and serve those businesses. The hours they put in there, that's what Nosheen mentioned, almost 4,000 hours they put into those businesses. Through our, business retention and expansion surveys we do, the feedback, the data we collect from those businesses, we can actually be more proactive. And we talked about that when we presented our 2025 plan. We talked about how we do that. That goes into our programming, and what all that work does, it goes into that number 542 jobs. But what do the 542 jobs, that's the work you put into it, what does that mean for our community? And what that means is that creates approximately $27.1 million per year in total income generated. And what that does is further injects $19.5 million in local consumer spending here in the capital region. And that's really important. That's what we like to consider full economic development. The work we put into our businesses here in our community and ensuring that the individuals have the skill sets they need to get into the workforce, goes back into our economy here. I'll hand it back to Nosheen to just touch upon that last piece there.
Yeah, and I just want to say that these KPIs that we mentioned that are here on this table, these are achieved through three major success indicators that we hold very close to our hearts. And these three indicators are, number one, enabling workforce development and labor force growth. Number two is the creation of a healthy business community where businesses can start, grow, and expand. And the third is creating investment-ready communities that attract people and businesses alike. And on the next page, we highlight the success factors that satisfy these three indicators that I just spoke about. We've had a 2.7% population growth in the capital region in 2024. The rate of employment has increased by 0.8%, which is considerable in a community of our size. We've supported over 2,000 unique individuals through our events and activities where we ensure that they get the opportunity to not only enhance their skill sets, but also create connections with the business community that actually has the jobs for them.
And like I said, the jobs are obviously important, but what's also important is to ensure through the times difficult economic situations that our businesses are able to stabilize and get through those situations. In some cases, they may not expand, they may not be able to grow in job, but if they're able to get through the year at times, that's okay. So what we also track is the amount of businesses that have interacted with us through counseling hours, programming, and things like that. So specific to the business growth team, I know many have met the Andreas of the world, the Annabelles of the world, and met them in the business community or swinging by your office. Our business development team has interacted with 361 businesses. And that's really important because, like I mentioned earlier, in some cases that can be quite reactive depending on the challenges they encounter those businesses. And those industries that often are seeking our help, falling, you see this, I'll actually read out loud, you can't see it. 18% of the hours that our business development team is going into is falling under professional, scientific, and technical services. 15% in accommodation and food services, another 15% in arts, entertainment, and recreation, and 12% in retail. And I really like to hammer out this point is if these businesses didn't have Ignite to go to, if they went to, for example, an equivalent private sector consulting, from the amount of money that the businesses that we've worked with in the capital region would have in total paid $224,000 in consulting fees and payment for those businesses, but they come to us and we get to work with them, which is a privilege, of course. Over the next slide, you're going to see a little more on, again, my side of the shop. This is where I like to say, Nosheen and I, we part paths a bit because I am very fortunate. Many of you heard me say that I stand on the shoulders of an incredible team. Like I mentioned, the Andreas and the Handles of the world. But here we're going to, it's a little more anecdotal as well. And you'll receive all this information afterwards, but we have examples of, it's not just numbers, it's the people that we're working with in your communities, and how important the work we do for them and how important the work they're doing. These numbers are my side of the shop. We've touched upon them a bit, but there is one I did want to touch upon a little further is the new startups, this new startups / new businesses. that's really important. We work with obviously a huge chunk of SMEs. But there's a lot of businesses or a lot of entrepreneurs out there that had an idea. They've gone through our programming, our support, business basics, growing your business and so on. And we help them develop a business plan, access to funding, so on and so forth, with the validation component. And that's 50 new businesses / startups here in our capital region in 2024. And that's really exciting. That's what we want to see. And we're going to see more. And just in addition to all the work we're doing as well as the events, the programs, the forums, the workshops, the events, you see 109 here, the work that our team is doing. She wants to walk us through the next page on your side.
In fact, this is my favorite page on this report. Because it has all the good things that our clients say about the programs and so it's not just coming from us, it comes from our clients, and you can see some of our clients' success videos on our YouTube channel as well, as Paula mentioned. Please go and check them out. They would tell you the true story. I would like to mention here that we divide our workforce development functions into 2 specific functions, basically. One is core workforce development, which takes care of all the labor market related data and all, the job fairs, all the capacity building events, everything that we do to help support our labor. The second part is integration and retention. We have a very strong team that runs our 2 integration related programs, the Economic Empowerment Program for Immigrant Women and the Integration Success Program for International Students. We also ran a youth empowerment program last year, considering that the youth in our high schools also needs support to be able to become an active part of our labor force. So these programs are run by our integration and retention team. And the third team is the Capital Region Integration Network, which is a local immigration partnership. It's a federal project, a federal program where we bring together all the partners in the ecosystem. And we try and work together towards creating better programs and better support mechanisms for all the newcomers in our community. And it is this working collaboratively approach that has really helped us capitalize on the strengths of all our partners and working together and achieve great objectives. At this point, I would hand it back to Andrew, talk about it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So in all the work that we have to do, every activity, every outcome, every major initiative is a result, and the proactive work we do within these strategies. So whether it's the business development, growth and retention strategy, or the care strategy, or the workforce strategy, is a result of the work that we've been putting together over the past while. And as we look ahead for the next 5 years of economic development here in the capital region, we're proud to say we have another plan. You've all heard us talking about Vision 2030, and won't dive too much into that right now, because I'm going to hand it over to Paula. She's going to go into a bit of the work on the communication side and talk a little bit about that as well. Next slide.
This is my favorite side. It's all about communication and outreach. So we know economic development is most effective when it's personal. We all know that. That's why outreach is so critical. From entity visits and podcasts to our new Day in Your Region vlog series, we're on the ground, we're showcasing local businesses, we're telling their stories, and we're building real-time connections between municipalities and the broader ecosystem. We want you to really think of Ignite as an extension of your team. Ignite isn't just a service provider, we're a partner. Whether you're a municipal leader, a local entrepreneur, or a newcomer to the region, we're here to help you connect, grow, and succeed. We have monthly updates through our Regional Service Commission, mayor, and municipal teams. They are designed to keep you informed and involved. If you're someone on your team isn't on that list yet, we encourage you to sign up so that you can get that communication every single month, as well as our newsletter. All of these details are in the package, so everything's clickable. You'll be able to go into the package and automatically sign up for stuff. Please take advantage of the many tools on our website, from economic snapshots to events and insights. Our In the News section of the website is where you'll find all of our quarterly reports. We do that in French and English, along with our annual updates and feature articles and blogs as well. If there's ever something you need, or a story that we can help in your community, if we can help amplify that story, just please reach out. We're happy to do that for you. We're committed to working with you to drive meaningful economic development where it matters the most, on the ground and in your communities. This is the team. This is the team that makes it all happen. Sarah stated something at the AGM last week, and I'm literally going to just read out loud exactly what she said. She said, our team is not only passionate, they're deeply committed to economic development in its truest form. Every day, they help one more person find a job, one more business take a leap forward, and one more challenge finds a solution. Their work happens in quiet conversations, quick emails, and big celebrations, one success at a time. So 2024, I'm just gonna give some closing remarks here. I know you said to wrap it up quick, so I'm conscious of the time. 2024 was a year of action and outcomes. But the work does not stop here. As Andrew mentioned, we're gonna enter into a new phase with Vision 2030. We're doubling down on strategic collaboration, data-driven execution, and region-wide engagement. Speaking of engagement, we'll also soon be reaching out to each one of you, all of our mayors and our entities, to schedule our springtime entity visits. So we look forward to seeing each of you in your communities once again. And on May 16th, want you to keep this date in mind, from 9 to 11 a.m. The Ignite team will be set up at the Crown Plaza for Vision 2030, the official launch of our regional economic development strategy. We encourage you to register if you haven't done so already. In closing, I want to mention that we put together some packages for you. They're just on the table back there. We would love for you to grab one. Those packages actually contain a copy of our 2024 report card in both French and English, along with more details about Vision 2030. There's a one-pager and an invitation as well. Thank you for your continued partnership, your leadership in your communities, and your commitment to building a stronger capital region together.
Thank you. Are there any questions around the table?
It's not much of a question, but I will tell you that I talked to you guys a lot and asked for the report card in our meetings, and I appreciate that report card, because I think we all know that you're in the community. We don't know exactly what you do at every area, but this helps us better understand, very clear and concise, and thank you.
Yes,
There's none of the numbers. Point, your statement.
yes.
Okay, go ahead. Director.
Go.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to thank the team for Ignite. It's remarkable what you've accomplished, and I love looking through the report that's presented. But one of the things especially comes from, I don't know if you can see that table, but I'm looking at, but it reminds me of the poor smart kid that isn't properly engaged by his teacher, who constantly outperforms the benchmarks. So thanks for punting the ball back over to us. We need to come up with some harder benchmarks for you guys. And that's exactly the kind of challenge that I'd like to sit through. So thank you very much for your work, and we'll get to work on making it harder for you to be so successful.
We're ready for that.
Is there any
Director Powell?
data, or some way to show where these new startups were in what communities?
Yeah, we would have that data.
You would have that?
Yeah, off of my head, I wouldn't have the numbers, but we have breakdown of entities, and we would have breakdown, more importantly, as well, of industry as well. So I can absolutely reconnect and get you the specific numbers on those, but yeah, because it's also, we want to be careful with the term startup. It's kind of, the definition is different from the ask, so we emphasize it's new business as well, because
Yes.
the startups, I might be thinking exclusively tech, but we think of the new businesses as business. So anyways, absolutely.
Thanks for that. No. Any further questions around the table? No. Okay.
I just want to make a point, Madam Chair, and I do believe, Andrew, there's also data coming where has been derived for the communities in terms of the job performance. Not only that, but when you look at 542 jobs and look at the overall macroeconomic impact of 27.1 million, I said this at the economic expansion table, and I'll say it again. I think they're being very modest in the multiplier that they're using on those jobs comes up around 150,000 roughly a year, something along that line. So you look at that, and I think those are very modest multipliers. And the performance that has been done and the return on investment is amazing, and their connectivity to the region and our interpersonal connection as well. We contact one another on a regular basis if there's ever an issue. And I know that some of you around the table had contacted me in the past, and it was handled like literally within an hour or two. So just want to let you know that relationship is ongoing and it's on your behalf. And the work is, in my mind, really exceptional in the region. So thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. And I'd like to thank you, Paula, Machine, and Andrew for coming in tonight and doing the presentation. And I do respect that you were respectful of our time. Yes, very much so.
Technology as well.
Thank you.
And so now I'm going to ask Director Kevin Nickman to put a motion on the floor, please receive the report.
I'd like to make a motion to receive the report. From night,
Second by, any discussion? Martin, any discussion? Ready for the question? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Move on now to Fredericton Capital Region Tourism, the regional strategy. And we have with us tonight David Seabrook and Stacey Russell. And Stacey Russell is going to be the presenter. And I've already had a talk with her about the time limit. So, turn it over to you. And welcome.
Cool, Stacey.
So thank you. Is there any chance, just, you had the right one up, of just making it full? There we go, beautiful. Okay, thank you. Also my eyesight, I have my glasses and let's see how this goes. There. Okay. So thank you very much, everyone. And, I will just to be able to kind of, I will be giving this presentation again on Thursday to the tourism industry. I believe everybody has been invited. We would love to be able to see you here, see you there on Thursday. I'm going to be going through some of these slides faster at a higher level, just given the time. So yes, okay, so I'll get going. First slide, please. So I want to remind everybody of the, in terms of, this is, well, we're heading into our third year as the regional destination marketing organization for Fredericton Capital Region Tourism. When I would have presented to you 2 years ago, we would have been saying, in terms of the theme of it was establishing the capital region as a top Atlantic Canadian destination. So we talked, so over the last 2 years, it's been very clear, and you're going to see that in my slides, the importance of natural resources. We're starting to see that manifest of how we're promoting it, how we're gelling the, how we're pulling the region together. So in 2025, in terms of the themes around this, will be taking advantage of those natural resources, building a foundation around it, and then capitalizing on this summer's opportunities. We'll go to the next slide, please. So first off, celebrating the wins. So shouldn't be a surprise to anybody in this room. Rose probably gave me about 10 pages, and I had to then consolidate it down. So I apologize. Trust me, every single one of your communities are on those lists. So, so in terms of event development, the Cambridge Narrows, it's a world qualifying event. Last year, it was the first year of the triathlon heading into 2025. Working with Gagetown and the development and execution of the Harry Vale Regatta. So that's another exciting opportunity, and also of looking at that in terms of from a waterway and paddling initiative. So it's fantastic. Leading into that, there are lots of amazing examples and opportunities around paddling throughout the region. The response that Dave and Rose have received when they're visiting communities, which has been 10 so far, has been amazing. So here's highlighting just some of those on that. So there's a lot of great, great announcements. Most recent being Princess Park Campground by the municipality of Grand Lake. So that's fantastic and very exciting. To highlight a couple other ones that aren't on this list, for Harvey, for example, Black's Grocery and Cafe, second busiest summer and year ever in their 25 years of existence. So 2024 had some really big milestones, and we'll cover through that. Another one being Sudbury Oromocto Park and Campground. Again, many of their weekends, they said they had no vacancy, and which was the first time in history. And significant increases in visitor growth. King's Landing saw a 43% increase on 2024, so in terms of visitation. A small bass tournament up from 60 to 80 teams last year. Lots of great things going. So we'll go to the next slide, please. So the big question, and the one that I didn't give you 2 weeks ago when I was presenting to the Economic Development Committee, what is the value of tourism to the Fredericton Capital Region? Next slide, please. I am very excited to tell you that is $405 million. So that is the value of tourism to the Fredericton Capital Region, an all-time high. So we're up 16.8% over last year. This is new data that we've been able to get in working with our federal partners at Destination Canada. So it's called the Data Collective is where we're able to get this information. So in terms of some of those highlights, we are the second most visited region in New Brunswick. The most visited region would be the southeast of the Moncton area. So Fredericton Capital Region would be number 2 with over 926,000 visitors. And we highlight as well, there are some of the origin markets of those visitors for 2024. So it shows you as well, when I start to talk in terms of our marketing, where you can see a correlation there of where we are and we're actually able to drive those visitors. So go to the next slide, please. So with that too, in terms of Fredericton hotel rooms, we're up 2.2%. That might not sound like very much, but it is a very significant increase, especially in a market that isn't necessarily seeing increases around the Maritimes and Quebec and New England. As well, it amounts to a significant increase financially because that ADR, or average daily rate, continues to rise. You all probably have felt it. Your hotel room prices continue to rise. That is something that that we're seeing in terms of other tourism revenues that are coming in. So go to the next slide, please. So these are some of the 2024 highlights. I will just quickly touch on a couple very quick. The travel trade market, that is your motor coach market, that continues to increase post-COVID. We're still not completely there, but we're climbing quite fast. Travel media as well. So 110 media mentions in 2024. That results in over 249 million impressions worth over $6 million. So really, if you're opening a magazine and you're seeing anything within the Fredericton Capital Region, there's a really good chance that our team has been involved in that and promoting and pitching that to writers. So go to the next slide, please. So one of those examples is back in 2023, we would have partnered with Destination Nakawik as well as New Brunswick Tourism in bringing in the Fish in Canada. Last year, that episode aired on Global TV, plus 14 stations across Canada on CTV, amounting to 3.7 million impressions and worth over $1 million in advertising. So we continue to see great opportunities, especially as we focus around the fishing market. You're going to see, we'll be talking about fishing, paddling, and golf. So there is more coming. We had more film crews in last year. So you'll see some of that continue to come out in media for this upcoming season. So go to the next slide, please. Here are some of the sport tourism successes. I am not flipping my slides fast enough. A couple of the quick hits on that. I mentioned in terms of Destination Nakawik for the smallmouth bass. The Kids Fun Run in Mactaquac, that is in Central York, saw 236 participants this year, or in 2024, I should say. The FMSQ, that's a motocross event at Crab Mountain. 365 from Quebec. So 500 registrants, but 365 from Quebec. That's a big, and there's a big market and opportunity with that. As well, the Pan Am Championships at the very bottom, that was something that we were able to do too as well, in thanks to the hotel accommodation levy. So that's a bid fee that we're able to then be able to create and build these events. So that event resulted in 10 nations and 160 anglers. So another fantastic opportunity in promoting the Wolastoq and our amazing fishing product in both in Fredericton as well in Nakawik. So we'll go to the next slide, please. So on to advertising. So we would, thanks to the tourism accommodation levy, be able to make some significant buys into Ontario, Quebec, and New England. Exactly those markets that you would have seen from the financial impact side. This gives you what some of those analytics result in. So 42.7 million impressions. We all know, we've looked at a website, we've done something, and it feels like somebody's just continuing to follow us. There's a magic to that and a logic, because we start to get in your head and you start thinking, oh, I do want to go back. I want to go back to Clark. There's something about that, or I do want to go. So it's, there is some magic. There's search keywords and a lot of strategy behind this. 3.4 million video views. Last year I would have been in front of you, launching those videos. So we've really hit the ground and put a lot of marketing muscle behind those, resulting in, and I won't lie, I actually yelled outside of my office when I saw this number because I thought it was crazy. 566,000 clicks. It's wild. So it's driving an awful lot of traffic through our website. With that, we'll go to the website. So the website saw over 2.7 million views. We are up 115% year over year. A big reason for that is the advertising I would have just shown you, but also that website is updated multiple times a day. That helps from a search engine optimization side. And also there's so much content. There's so many amazing things to be able to do around the Fredericton Capital Region. So those are blog posts, those are itineraries, they're road trips, there's scenic drives, there's lots of different information to be able to be found on that website. And we're seeing that through the traffic. So those we've also included in terms of some of the cities that are visited, that the most popular cities visiting the website. Calendar of events continues to also be the most active page that's visited on the site as well. So we'll go to the next slide, please. So in terms of some social media, this is just to highlight that social media muscle. We continue to work with the tourism industry of when somebody is announcing whether it's a festival, a new event, something that's coming up within the region, we need to know about it as soon as we can so we can prepare. We will never scoop that event or that announcement, but we'd like to be a minute afterwards so that when somebody is announcing tickets going on sale for the National Rock Music Festival or anything like that, that we are right behind them, helping to be able to drive that traffic and those ticket sales and that awareness and using that social media muscle. So go to the next slide, please. So now 2025. Opportunity knocking at our doorstep. If I had a nickel for every time I was asked about the current situation, which we'll go to the next slide. Oh, the reduction of US travel. So 71% of Canadians don't intend to travel to the US the next 6 months. That number slightly decreases when you look at it for a year. 62% don't plan to visit over the next year. It gives us a great opportunity. We're also hearing it from a lot of the operators within your region. A couple examples of that would be Sunset View Campground. They're up 76.5% already in Q1 in bookings year over year. So there are a lot of people that are planning to come to the Fredericton Capital Region. Tiny Trail Motels, both the motel and Tiny Trails, they're up significantly as well. To the point they sent us an email, a lot of it they're seeing is Quebec. Seeing a lot of Quebec travelers coming through. So we'll go to the next slide, please. So 2025 trends. You're going to see a big cross and a correlation here with what we have to offer within the Fredericton Capital Region. So slow living, that's that wellness travel. They're escaping. You want to escape reality. You want to come and be able to just relax and get outdoors, enjoy that natural landscape. The search for aesthetic getaway, down to earth and nature, something we have lots of and puts us in a fantastic situation. And then experiences. It's really experiences over that of actual material possessions. So again, capitalizing on all of this. So we'll go to the next slide, please. What are visitors looking for? So this is some data that we're getting from Google Analytics. I know it's really hard to be able to see, but going from left to right, that goes camping all the way to beaches. Kayaking being the number one at 375,000 average monthly searches. Isn't that awesome? That's great. Like, I can tell you somebody was pretty happy when I did that. So some great opportunities in positioning the Fredericton Capital Region. So we'll go to the next slide, please. So here's our visitor guide. I screwed up. I was supposed to have it in my hand at this point and I left it in a bag. So we do have the visitor guides. They look amazing. 2-year guide. I would have again spoken to everybody last year about a lot of the new photography that we had shot in both 2024, but then as well in 2025. It really shows off our region and all of our assets. So we're very, very excited about this guide. And this guide will actually manifest into more information. You'll see lots of QR codes in the guide that are leading people to the website. It gives road trip ideas, scenic drives, blogs. It's to inspire you. Then that'll also be picked up and used within all of our marketing. So lots of great opportunities, and it all starts with this visitor guide. So go to the next slide, please. Whew. So 2025 leisure marketing, we're already in market because everybody's already dreaming about vacations and summers. Now I am. So that is where we're at right now, is the planning cycle. So we are into Ontario, Quebec, and some of New England for people that are starting to dream and starting to think about planning. Then we go lower down in that funnel of what's called intercept. We are really going to focus within the Maritimes, physically from Edmundston on, any travelers who are coming in. So we are gonna leverage opportunities here of using Nova Scotia tourism, New Brunswick tourism, St. John tourism, everybody who is spending in those larger markets. We're gonna wait till they have the visitors. Once they've crossed it in New Brunswick, then we're gonna start hitting them with Fredericton Capital Region info. That comes as well from us talking with our hoteliers who are saying that they are seeing flexibility in people's travel plans, that they are adding an extra night or two, like, so we can change their minds and we can sway them. It also gives us a much closer opportunity of ringing that bell and ringing that till for them. So this is our initiative for this year, is really focused on that intercept campaign. So we'll go to the next slide. I don't think I need to tell anybody in this room how important air is for everything we do and every facet of our business. So with that importance, we work through both the tourism accommodation levy and the Fredericton Airport in trying to ensure that we have good flights that are coming through. But it's also of marketing with those airlines and partnering where we can with New Brunswick Tourism, as well as with any other partner in New Brunswick cities, so that we can leverage each other's partnership dollars and make it go further. We'll go to the next slide, please. Whew, sporting events. So we got a lot. I'm only going to highlight a couple of them. So World Curling Mixed Doubles Senior Championships. They took over the city of Fredericton over the last 2 weekends with 67 teams from 35 different countries. And they raved about the region and being able to get around, to be able to see it. So each one of these opportunities gives that where somebody comes, you've experienced it yourself if you're going away for a conference or traveling, where if you've traveled that far, you want to see what else is in the region. So there's great opportunities of capitalizing on that. The hook and paddle Capital Region Clash, again, looking in terms of us building that paddling position. So it's important for us to partner with them and get as many locations around the Fredericton Capital Region as we can. So this year we'll see 6 tournaments throughout the region. Another big one I want to highlight is the 55+ New Brunswick Senior Games, where we're working with using facilities in both Oromocto as well as the Riverbend Golf Club. So where we can take these opportunities in sporting events and bring them around the region. So we'll go to the next slide, please. So again, I'd mentioned that building that position on fishing, and that isn't just, I think you can see from the presentation, that isn't just about creating the events. The events are fantastic. One of the big ones that is a 3-year partnership we've just launched in terms of the NB Bass Tour, but there's lots there. But it's about telling travel media about it, bringing travel writers there, blog posts, writing blog posts, trying to get people out on the river, building a position about this on why we have such an amazing asset of this river, shooting photography, videos, promotion. So it's of building that position around fishing. And as I mentioned, that'll be fishing, golf, and paddling. Whew. Okay, next slide. So paddling. So Dave and Rose have, they visited 10 communities. They continue to move along. The website will launch later on this year. There's also been a new logo, which purposely I've not put up because we haven't announced it yet, but created by Percy Sokobi. So there's a lot of exciting things happening with this paddling initiative. This is one of those moments where Dave wishes he was now standing at the podium. So we're seeing a slow and deliberate build. It's coming. There's a lot of amazing things that have been happening, and we can't wait to really about driving that economic demand. We'll go to the next slide. So again, Rose is meeting with all of your operators within all of your communities. It's, she's constantly on the go. So that's in building Frostable events, that's hotel packaging or accommodation packaging. That's dinners on, or, Dine Around Freddy, of really kind of driving that restaurant traffic within Frostable. All sorts of great opportunities. And then meeting with operators to see how else can she help. That has been everything from, in terms of being able to access grants, in a lot of cases, working with Ignite Fredericton. A lot of awards, a lot of designations, a lot of profiles. So I don't think I need to tell you all just how passionate she is about the region and working with all of your operators. And we continue to see growth in these businesses, and something that we care an awful lot about. Whew. So last slide is, with that, I want to close by saying, that we are all working together collectively, and we are stronger, both as a region and the city working together. And thank you.
Would there be any questions from the directors around the table? Let's start with Director Nick.
1 minute.
I just want to, again, thank you for the report card. I know I pushed that a lot, and I know we struggled with that a little bit, and but I think it shows exactly what we're paying for and how it works and it's easy to explain again. And I'll tell you from our own story, we've been touting that our little mountain bike trail was 4,000 visitors a year to a small rural community. That's a big number. However, we were grossly mistaken. Through the support of Fredericton Regional Tourism and Rose and like, she's amazing, as you said. We just got the counts from last year, over 8,000 people.
Wow.
Wow.
So it's double what we were thinking and what it was a couple of years ago. So I just want to appreciate all the effort. So thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Director Fox.
Question, you said we were second to
Yes,
southeastern New Brunswick?
Moncton area.
How far off first are we?
Oh, I couldn't remember right offhand, but Moncton is, they do, it's a large, like, so in terms of regular, it would be.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking about just goal setting.
Oh,
You would have to build some significant new facilities to achieve those things.
Yeah, well, we'll look ahead.
Music concert.
Delta.
You can shut down.
We'll go to Director Sharp.
I just want to say, Stacy, I was down to Alma last weekend to an ATV run. There's over 300 bikes. They opened the hotels early, they opened the restaurants early. The place was jam packed full of people. And I can guarantee you, everybody dropped some dollars. Yeah, exactly. So the ATVing is huge if we can tie some trails together. I know Fredericton's on board with having ATVs come into town.
We're working on it.
Try right as many as you can load on a trailer.
We're starting.
So no further comments. I'll turn it over to Mr. Smith, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to say thank you to Stacy and Dave and the team at Fredericton Capital Region Tourism. It's a great working relationship, as it is with Ignite. We often all meet together and have those conversations. And when we look at that, I think Stacy's closing remark really hit it home. When we look at the value of coming together as a region, and we look at the ability to expand, I don't know, Stacy, if we have a number of how many offerings are in the new tourism guide. I don't know if you or Dave have that offhand, but I do know it's expanded exponentially over the last few years. So that's that growth. And we see that on our business side. It's all reflective of a team working together. And that's this team around this table with our partners and the abilities and the skills that they bring to the table. And I just can't say enough. I mean, the value of the 405 million is just absolutely amazing. And I know that feeds into the economic indicators over here on from the economic development side with our friends at Ignite. And it's a great partnership. And again, lots of communication, lots of honest, open conversations. If there's ever an issue, let us know. But anytime there has been an issue, which there have been very few, but there have been some growing pains over the last few years. But the reality is They're handled quickly. They try to do as much as they can to accommodate, and they are working throughout the region. So, thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Stacy.
Thank you.
Director Nicklin, would you bring forth the motion, please?
I'll be happy to make the motion to receive the strategy from Fredericton as presented by Fredericton Capital Region Tourism. Open to the city.
Second by, thank you. Any discussion? Ready for the question? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Move on now to committee reports, Finance Committee, Director Corey, please. Oh, you're welcome to stay.
Slide out stage.
Thank you very much.
Have a great evening.
Finance Committee met on April 24th, 2025. The meeting was called to order at 12 o'clock. Mr. Fitzgerald summarized the performance of the investment portfolio for the first quarter of 2025. The report is attached. The investments had a growth of 0.98%, which if annualized is just over 4%. This is typical based on market performance for the period. For the future, market volatility is expected to be high based on uncertainty, particularly around tariffs. However, the investment horizon is currently 33 years, meaning short-term fluctuations can be weathered. Mr. Spares gave a presentation showing the impact on markets when major historical events took place. The market typically reacts negatively, then corrects itself over time. Having a long-term horizon produces more predictable returns. Ms. Lankin presented the financial results for the first quarter of 2025. All operating funds generated surpluses, with the main driving factor being more funding received from the province than was budgeted. Power generation is the only fund that is currently underperforming the budget due to an engine breakdown and associated repair costs, as well as lower gas currently in the landfill with which to run the engines. Gas flow can be impacted by weather and water in the landfill. Staff will continue to monitor this in the upcoming months. There being no further business, the meeting was adjourned at 12:25 p.m. I move the board receive the report from the Finance Committee dated May 6, 2025.
Seconded, David.
Any discussion? Ready for the question?
Question.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Director Corey. Move on now to the Governance Committee. And there will be 4 motions there. We have Director Sween and staff member John Fitzgerald.
Meeting was called to order by the chair at 2 p.m. CAO discussed these letters received regarding the budgetary process for 2025. The letters were from the CAO of the Village of Maryland and the CAO of the City of Fredericton. And Director Rogers from the City of Fredericton. Concerns were expressed about the budget process, the potential for a 7-day window on 15-day publishing of the budget, and the potential for municipal councils and staff to take time to review the process. CEO Smith clarified that the previous processes would be followed and that the reduced timelines were only to be used after budget proposals failed to pass. As also noted, the fiduciary responsibilities to pass the budget lies with the directors of the board, and the process in which each member community reviews the budget is up to that community. He also mentioned that the budget processes will be more rigorous for the introduction of the community of the whole process. I'll just read over the bullets here. The chair and vice chair terms proposed for a 2-year term with 1 renewal. Majority opposed the automatic succession for vice chair to chair in favor of the election. Committee membership. Non-director memberships missing 3 consecutive meetings without notice or reason to be removed. Additional clauses considered for total annual absences. Procedural language. Clarification of the committee of the whole makes recommendations, not decisions. The consent agenda. Any director may request an item's removal from the consent agenda. With regards to the committee structure assignments, these discussions addressed term extensions, Existing committee assignments extended 1 year to align with the upcoming elections. The assignment process, chair and vice chair to meet on the assigned members based on preferences. And with regard to finance committee, it was clarified that it submits its recommendation to the committee as a whole. And section 9 was clarified in both directors' and employees' expenses. Also attached is the bylaw for planning review and adjustment committees, cracks, which was 2 minor housekeeping items appearing on page 17 only. Discussion then centered around the budgeting process. Directors discussed the 45-day review period for the budget, which is mandated by legislation. They also talked about the 15-day notice period for the budget amendments. Staff clarified that the 15-day only applies if the budget vote fails and emphasizes that the budget wouldn't be finalized until after the committee of the whole meeting. The committee also reviewed a staff report regarding a one-time extension of committee terms. The governance committee is recommending extending the existing committee assignments for another year, aligning with the upcoming municipal elections in 2026. There being no further business, the meeting was adjourned at 3:37 p.m. First motion,
Please.
I move that the board receive the report of governance committee dated May 6, 2025.
Second it, Bob Powell, or Martin.
Any discussion? Ready for the question?
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Your next motion, please.
I move that the board repeal bylaw P10 and adopt bylaw P11.
Second by,
Bob Powell, or Martin.
any discussion? Ready for the question? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. And before you do the third motion, I just want to clarify that Creighton, Ormont, and New Maryland do not vote on this because we have our own service and we do not get that service from the Capital Region Service Commission.
Okay.
Thank
I
you.
move that the board repeal bylaw crack 7 and adopt bylaw crack 8.
Second, Glenn Paul.
Any discussion? Ready for the question? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. And your next and last motion, please.
I move that the board extend the terms of the CRSC standing committees until May of 2026.
Second, Dave Morrison, panel.
Any discussion? Ready for the question? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Director Sweeney. And number 8, the tenders, the first quarter report, that's for information only. And we will go now to the staff report, number 9, the annual report. Don, would you like to comment on that?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Included in your package is a draft copy of the annual report of the commission, which is a legislative requirement. The report includes our audited financial statements and other information that's specified in legislation, which includes, excuse me, the names of members who get their planning services from us, the number of board meetings that we have a year in attendance, an update on the implementation of the regional strategy, receipt of the Regional Service Support Fund and how that was used, and information with respect to services. If the board adopts the annual report that's included in the package, what we will do is we will then merge that with the financial statements, have them translated, and they'll be delivered to the directors and posted on our website. And I'll be happy to take any questions that the directors may have in that regard.
Let's put the motion on the floor first and then under discussion. So who would like to make a motion for the annual report?
I'll move that, Madam Chair. Greg Erickson, City of Fredericton.
Thank you. And who will second it? Thank you. Now discussion. Yes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just one quick question regarding regional infrastructure. Do we not include a list annually of facilities that are deemed to be regional infrastructure? Pieces of recreational or not?
We do, Madam Chair, but that's not required in the annual report. That's required as a letter to the minister that comes out of the infrastructure committee.
Okay, are those things available on the website?
I don't believe the letter is at this point.
Yeah, I'm not certain.
Okay.
So any further discussion? I just have one comment. I've gone down through it in detail. And I spoke with John about it and I noticed there were some grammar errors. So I'm going to meet with Kelly on Thursday and just point them out to her. We're gonna do it in person because it's a lot better than through an email. So just know that there are a few out there, they will be corrected before it goes to print. Okay, no further discussion? Ready for the question? All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Now go to the Community Promotional Funding Program. John, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is regarding the Community Promotional Funding Program. That's the design, it's through the Department of Health. It's designed to help us promote the region collectively. Within that, it was 100,000 in year one in 2023 and 50,000 for each subsequent year for up to 4 years. Last year and in 2023, the board had decided to split the funding between the two groups that were existing between the group that was formed in Fredericton and the Oromocto group. Since that time, as we had talked earlier in our workshop, there are more committees coming on board. So we just want to know if we were to stay the course or what the option or what the direction of the board would be. So in terms of that, with the current funding distribution, the Fredericton Oromocto committees have been successful in carrying out their intended activities. These groups are well established. They've produced positive results and have pre-existing partnerships with partners such as the Department of Health, Horizon Health. The downside to the current model is that it prohibits any new groups or individual municipalities from utilizing any of the funding. The board has the option to continue distributing the funding equally to the Fredericton and Oromocto committees, as is the current process, and not changing that funding model. Another option is continuing to guarantee Fredericton and Oromocto committees some funding, but reserving an amount to be accessed for other initiatives. This would guarantee some support to the groups already relying on the funding and simultaneously remove roadblocks for other communities. Funding for new initiatives could be applied for on a case-by-case basis and weighted against predetermined criteria. The downside to this funding model is that each group would get less funding to put towards their initiatives, so they may need to reduce the scale of activities or seek funding from other sources. A third option would be for the funding for initiatives to be applied for only on a case-by-case basis, weighted against predetermined criteria. This would allow equitable opportunity for all groups and individuals to access funding, similar to the previous option. It also potentially reduces the amount of funds accessible by all groups. Options 2 and 3 would require forming an evaluation committee to approve the release of funding. Should the board choose one of these options, they can direct staff to return with proposed criteria and a single decision-making model. So the options, just to recap, there are 4 in total. We continue with the current model of distributing the CPFB funding equally between Fredericton and Oromocto committees. Continue distributing the CPFB funds primarily to the Oromocto and Fredericton committees, but reserve an amount to be made available by application for other groups or initiatives. Direct staff to return to the board with the proposed funding distribution and decision-making criteria to distribute the remainder of the funds. Number 3, CRSC hold all CPFP funds to be made available by application for all groups or initiatives. Direct staff to return to the board with proposed criteria and decision-making model to distribute the funds. Or the board may, however wish, to provide different direction altogether. The recommendation was option 3. This option can be accomplished by passing the following motion. So, Madam Chair, at that point, to you to see.
Okay, we will start, since the recommendation was option 3. We'll ask someone to put option 3 on the floor as a motion.
I'll put that on the floor. Madam Chair, Greg Erickson, City of Fredericton.
Okay, and a seconder?
I'll second that, Kevin.
Okay, now, is there any discussion? Yes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I guess through you to directors, CEO Smith. My apologies. Would it be appropriate in that motion, when you're contemplating proposed criteria, to have language that would take money that wasn't allocated into a certain year to be put wholly towards the MB Medical Education Fund Scholarship Program?
Unfortunately, sorry, Madam Chair, through you, Madam Chair. Unfortunately, the funding is not allocated to be able to be utilized in that way. It must be to promote promotional activities to attract people to the region for recruitment retention reasons.
Okay, the scholarships don't count.
Yeah, unfortunately, sorry.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Yes.
So,
Sec.
The risk in in doing it the way we're doing it now, there's little risk that the money won't be spent. Doing it any of the other recommended ways, there's a risk that the money will not be spent. So that, I never like to see money sitting on the table.
No, I don't think any of us do.
Madam Chair, if I could, Director
Yeah.
Director Corey, just very quickly, we have had several communities looking for assistance to promote or to use for initiatives for promotion and recruitment in their communities. So I just wanted to make that clear. Yeah.
Yes.
Wasn't there just, last year when we discussed this, didn't we discuss merging these into one group? Did we not?
Madam Chair, yes, we have tried. The groups are getting along much better. And I don't mean that in any flippant way, Director Sweeney. I mean that in the most sincerest of ways. In the beginning, I didn't understand the history of it. But there were some challenges within, really just understanding the new, the new services, the new mandates in the region. I'm happy to report that we've had successive meetings with both groups, with the New Brunswick Medical Society, New Brunswick Medical Education Foundation, with all kinds of other groups that report in, with Horizon Health being at the meetings as well, Dr. Comstock's team as well. So we've met with all of those groups and we are coming together. I'm going to look over, I think, Amanda, when's our next meeting? Is it May?
May 20th.
May 20th, I believe, is our next meeting with the groups and to continue to try to bring them together. So we are working together. We are having conversations. We are bringing the right people around the table, and Ignite, as our business partner, has been at some of the meetings as well and has been wanting to play more of a role in that with us.
But now there's a third.
We do have in Director Sharp's area, in the entity or the community of Arcadia that has formed as well. And we've already been speaking with them, told them about the other groups and invited them to the table, and they've been invited to the meeting this month as well.
Okay.
Yes, I guess May 21st, sorry.
Okay, Director Fox?
What's the expected timeline on proposed criteria and decision-making model?
I would suspect that we would bring something back, put it through the realistically where it goes best is under the Community Development Committee. We would go to the committee and then make a recommendation to the board at the next meeting.
So within 6 weeks.
Yes, but, sorry, Madam Chair, we'll definitely meet the 6-week timeline. It's more like 4 to 5, yes.
Okay, are there any further questions down this end? No further questions?
That's new money that come in from province, correct?
Yes, it is, and Director Forsyth, I'm sorry, Madam Chair, through you to Director Forsyth, yes, it is. That's the funding agreement was 2023 for 5 years, so 2028, and year one was 100. Every subsequent year for that was 50,000.
Okay, no further questions?
Madam Chair, may I make one last comment?
Yes.
It does require each year for the groups, and they participate. They do this very well. They give us a proposed budget. And then they give us a report on the activities that they've undertaken. And in all fairness to both groups that have been utilizing this funding, they've always overspent in terms that they only get a finite amount of money, but the communities and their fundraising, however they raise their funding. They do that and they do it well with support of the municipalities and support of their partner agencies. So they've been very good.
Okay, no further questions? Discussion, ready for the question? All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. That's it. That's it. Now we'll move on to the CEO report, verbal update, please. Yes. We can take it over.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Just a few things, that we want to make sure that we continuously, continue to keep the members updated. Everybody's been anticipating the move. If, you haven't seen one of our ads, you're probably one of the few, that haven't. We're starting our move tomorrow, and it will happen over the 7th, 8th, and 9th. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of this week. We're hoping to be fully up and running on Monday. I think, overall, staff are excited, some are anxious. You know, it'll be a great opportunity to have everybody in one space eventually and to get everybody situated. The new space is starting to take shape very nicely and looking good. We can't wait to demonstrate that and show it to you. And we're hoping to do that as soon as possible. Within that, the delays, I have to thank my colleague, Don Fitzgerald, for a lot of the work that he has done on that, in terms of working with the agency that has been on our behalf and with the building owners as well. It's not been an easy one. Finding, as we all know, there's challenges in finding the right amount of tradespeople, laborers, workers in general. It's been a challenge. So anyway, we're finally getting to the finish line, and we'll have a more fulsome report for you in June. Upcoming meetings, just so that folks are aware. Tomorrow evening, there's the Public Safety Advisory Forum that's virtual at 6 p.m. We have the regional infrastructure on May 20th. That will most likely be virtual, and that's at 12 noon. And the economic expansion on May 20th, that'll be virtual at 4 p.m. An invite on that one will be sent for a presentation. There's going to be a presentation by ONB and Intergovernmental Affairs. My apologies, Opportunities New Brunswick and Intergovernmental Affairs regarding interprovincial trade barriers. So if you have people in your communities and council members, other mayors, everybody will be invited to participate within that committee meeting and to be able to ask questions. These are the subject matter experts that work in this every day and advise the premier. It was something that stemmed out of our last economic expansion meeting regarding the trade barriers at the end of the Ignite presentation when we were talking about tariffs. So everybody will be invited to that. Your CAOs will be invited. Anyone that you want to participate may participate. So that'll be virtual. When we'll have the invites up to that very shortly. We're looking at so the chair and I had met last week with we had the opportunity to meet as part of meetings in St. John with the CAOs and chairs of the RSCs to talk about issues in common. One of the things that came out with opportunities that we had was to meet with the premier and the minister, and they were both very good to meet with. Within that, but one of the things when I attended the State of the Province address that the premier really hit home. And it's something that we can all take away from dealing with the government is looking at the KPIs, looking what you're looking, you know, how you measure success and how you're looking to success for the future. So at this point, I've been in conversation with a consultant to look at doing a strategic impact assessment study for our region. This would be already out of existing funds. And what we would be doing is looking at our strategic plan, our implementation guide, KPIs, and looking at where our strengths are and what our weaknesses are. Where are we making it? What's your return on investment in terms of that? And so we'll be gathering the data, being able to bring that forward. And this will demonstrate, the province is looking at the RSCs as a whole, and we should be ready to contribute to their work. So while we were at the this particular meeting, one of the things, I apologize, Madam Chair, I'm gonna back up the bus here a moment. I'm getting ahead of my own report. So the committee, each of the committees, to feed into this, we've been asking the committees, the chairs and the senior leads to start considering thinking about their budget for 2026. What might that ask be? We did that last year and we'll do it again this year over the next couple of meetings so that Mary Kay and her team can build this into the budget proposal for 2026. And there could be new asks or might be less ask, I don't know. But whatever that is, we're asking each of the chairs to be able to do that. And if we can have those requests, in June for consideration into the budget process, that would be extremely helpful, if not before. When we were at the Regional Service Commission meetings in St. John last week, the government has indicated that they've asked for an independent study of the Regional Service Commission so they can get a deeper understanding of both the progress and the challenges across regions so that improvements can be made. The understanding was around the table is that they believe in the RSC process. They believe it is a good model, but what needs to be tweaked, or possibly changed? What could that look like? Are challenges in some regions the same as challenges in other regions, and they'll be moving forward. So the local government division has assured us that this review is meant to support and strengthen the regional collaboration model, not to create fear or uncertainty. The review is about improvement, not criticism. It's more about the government's commitment to transparency and partnership. And given that we're a few years into the expanded mandates, they felt that it was a good time to start this review. The GMB has assured us that the RSC CEOs will play an important role in the process, alongside contributions from board members, local government leaders, rural district representatives, and other stakeholders. And it's important, they felt, to include all perspectives, so everybody will be included in the process. And the goal of the study is to provide evidence-based recommendations that will support stronger outcomes for the RSCs and communities across the province. And the work will be led by a third party, an independent third party. That's to ensure that the process is objective, transparent, and grounded in data. The scope of the study is currently being developed by the department, and they'll keep us up to date on their next steps. So this goal is to begin the goal is to begin the study this summer and be able to share the findings next spring in 2026. So their timelines are short but doable. It looks at they're developing an RFP to go out, and we'll be able to participate, I guess, in the review of that and then be able to do some work on that. The meetings with the other RSCs also involved for part of a half day with UMNB and the AFMNB. And really the whole thing was talking about, are there areas or synergies that we could work together? Is there ways that we can support one another without being in competition to one another? And, so there was a lot of conversation around that. No actions had been decided or taken at this point. They're looking at having another meeting in the fall. We've met twice with them prior to this, in two different times. The last time, the chair and I were, I think, aligned and a little bit vocal on the outcome of the last meetings. We didn't feel that they bore any fruit of any sort, so we vocalized that. So this time they kept the agenda portion small and just talked about, are there ways or potential ways that we could? And some of the RSCs had asked, well, are you ever going to invite us to the table? to be part of, the organizations. And, anyway, so we'll see what happens over the next little while, but, I will have some, slide decks and outcomes from that over the next, few days from the facilitator that was used. And, we'll be able to share that, with you. So, and at this point, I have one more, very, very important item. And I think everybody around the table, some will be shocked and some will be shocked even further. But I'm gonna ask Madam Chair to take that part of the conversation.
First, before I go forward, is there any questions for John at this time? No? Okay. Take quarters back here.
Yes.
Oh, I know, I had a question, Madam Chair. Did they get a building permit for their expansion there?
Sure they did.
Okay,
Oh, it's all looked after.
Okay, I'm just checking.
the city. Actually, trust me, we had to build a fire prevention wall there too, an extra wall that had to be engineered, so we're fully compliant, sir.
Should people get some help on recruitment? Downstairs neighbor.
Yeah.
I have some information to share with everybody around the table. I wanted to let you know that one of our long-term employees, friend and colleague, Don Fitzgerald, will be retiring. Tonight is Don's last meeting with us and he will be missed. Don has provided good stewardship to the commission since 2013. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Director Powell and myself have been there since 2013. Sorry, yes, Director Powell, sorry about that, yes. And I don't think a lot of people realize that I was asked to sit on the selection committee. And I was looking forward to that, but it was overwhelming for me and there was a health concern within my family, so I had to step down and I couldn't fulfill that role. He weathered the first major transition and he has been a very valuable member of the team since our current CEO joined us in 2022. Don has helped us to build the commission to what it is today. He was able to search out the best people for the jobs that had to be done and led the commission through many storms. Don's banking and municipal background were very valuable to him in this role. I know that Colleen, their children and grandchildren will be happy to have him around more. The Fredericton Golf Course members should also be notified of his increased attendance on the course. He assured me that he will always be available to the commission staff and directors to chat and offer some advice. And Don, speaking from the heart, I can't thank you enough for being on the right side and always leading me the right way. I have learned so much from you and listening to you. And sometimes you know how directors are and they hold something fast one night and I have no idea what they're talking about. And I said, oh, what am I supposed to do now? But no, I appreciate your honesty and the respect I have for you is way up there because you never led anyone around this table astray. And you always knew the answers. And if you didn't, you let us know the next day and you told us that. So a lot of respect from the directors to you, Don. And so please join me in wishing Don well in the new chapter of his life. Thanks, Don.
The building was gone, so you gone.
This is my fourth attempt at retiring. Each time I just, I couldn't do it. And anyway, my last day will be May the 30th, and I'm gonna stick to that. Your wide viewing audience will go up one. For each, I've been fortunate in my career. I'm really fortunate. I had an opportunity to do some really neat things during my banking career. I went to local government with more than a little bit of trepidation because I had that private sector bias, which I found to be unwarranted. I had an opportunity to work on some really cool stuff with the city. I had an opportunity to come here at the beginning in rocky seas. But it was really interesting, and I had an opportunity in reform to work with six, well, we're a lot of communities, but to amalgamate 6 new communities. And then, you know, I had no idea that I would be coming back, because I knew the new guy wouldn't want me around. And there's very few people that would have been open to that. And so, John, I thank you for your open mind. I've enjoyed working with all of you and all of your communities. And I've just had a really, really great ride the last 49 years. So it's been 55 years since I've had a summer off. And
Wow.
so,
How do you get any golfing in at all?
yeah. So,
Maybe you'll drop the golf in there.
very close. Well, I don't want to, I want to manage expectations. I'd like to play more.
A lot more fun golfing on work time.
Anyway, thank you all very much. And I do mean that, I'm not hard to find. Reach out if there's anything I can do to help. I'd love to.
Thank you, Don. We really appreciate that. And like I said, there is so much respect down the table towards you, and we always value your insight and the information, explanations that you provided to us.
Thank you.
You will be missed. Thank you. Okay, now we're going to go into closed session. Yes,
Madam Chair, I'll move that we go into closed session.